Okay, we had a few questions about some problems in chapter 11, so I thought I'd make a quick video just to kind of help you out. The one that we're going to look at right now is question number 9, and so you'll see it here on the left part of the screen. So this says to find the total amount that must be repaid on the following note described. So you have a principal of 8,573 borrowed at 15.5% simple interest. What is the total amount to be repaid 3 years, 125 days later? And then they tell you to round it to the nearest cent. Okay, so we're going to start out with our simple interest formula, which is I is equal to P R T. Now, keep in mind that so P is your principal, your rate needs to be in decimal form, and your T needs to be in years, and that is going to be very important. Uh, and that is going to be a different part of this particular problem because we have this thing over here that says 125 days later. All right, so what we have to do is we need to find the interest. Once you find the interest, then you can add it to the principal, and that's the total amount that's going to be repaid. So we have to find the interest first. So let's pick out our numbers. The principal in this case is 8,573. The rate is 15.5%. So that would be 0.155. Now, here's the thing with the time. The time is in years, and it says 3 years, 125 days. So this is going to be a 3 years plus, you have to do 125 days out of 360. Now, the reason why we use 360 is because the text says that 360 days is considered ordinary interest. And so that's a key here. All right, so sorry, my pen is not the very best here. So ordinary interest. So now I'm going to show you how we're going to put this in the calculator all at one time. So I'm going to pull up my calculator. And on this calculator, I'm going to enter this exactly like I see it here. So I'm going to do 8,573 times 0.155. And then this is now, I'm going to say that it's times, but I need to use some parentheses in here. I'm going to say parentheses 3 plus 125 divided by 360. Okay, now you saw I had to close the parentheses. When I closed the parentheses, that gave me this 3.347. So that's what 3 plus 125 divided by 360, that's what this is. So I'm going to now do my equals, and this is the amount of my interest. So the amount of my interest, if I round it, 4,447.84. Okay, so that's my interest, and you have to add that to your principal. So I need to add that to 8,573. And you can just do that, 4,447.84 plus 8,573. So the total amount to be repaid back is going to be 13,020.84. Okay, so that would be your answer, your final answer on this. So the biggest thing here is to make sure that you use 360 for your ordinary interest, and then putting all of it in the calculator correctly is the other big problem. Okay, now we're going to take a look at another problem. Okay, the next one we're going to look at is section 11.2 and number 16. You have several that are similar to this, so we're just going to work one. So they give you that a car dealer will sell you a used car for $6,698. You have to pay $798 down, and then you have payments of $164.51 for 48 months. Okay, so the first thing asks the amount to be paid. Okay, so on part A, the amount to be paid, well, first of all, you've got your down payment. So we're going to take $798. You have to pay that much. And then every month you're going to pay $164.51 for 48 months. So that is going to be the total amount that you are paying. So let's get our calculator and see what that comes to. So we have 798 plus, and then I'm going to do 164.51 times 48 and close my parentheses. And so the total amount that you are paying is $8,694.48. Okay, now on part B, they're asking for the amount of interest. Now they are using a formula in this particular part that basically says you take this total and it equals the principal plus the interest. Okay, so so if I am going to find the amount of interest, I'm going to take the total amount, 8,694.48, and I'm going to subtract out the original amount of the car, which was 6,698. And that is the simplest answer for interest. So let me figure that one out. So I got the 8,694.48. I'm going to say minus 6,698. And you get 1,996.48. All right. So this is your interest, 1,996.48. Now, there is a little bit of a question here because you have this down payment, but for this particular part, this is what the book is looking for. So they're just looking at it as the most simplest part, which is principal plus interest equals the total amount. All right, so that's what we're going to do. So now part C. Part C says they want the interest rate. Okay, so now we have to do a little bit of figuring out. We have our formula, interest is equal to principal times rate times time. I'm just looking for this rate. I'm going to rearrange this formula. So this is where algebra comes in a little bit. So I'm going to divide both sides by the principal and the rate. Principal and time. So when I do that, those cancel out with these, and it gives me just the rate. So the rate is equal to the interest divided by the principal times the time. All right, so now I have my formula. Rate is equal to the interest divided by the principal times the time. All right, now in this particular part of the problem, they are taking this interest amount, right here, 1996.48. And they're going to divide it by the principal and the time. Now, in the principal in this particular case, to find this rate, they're going to only use the part that you financed, which the part that you financed is actually 6,698 minus 798. Okay, so that was our down payment. So I'm going to do that, and I believe that's 5,500. Is that right? I think 6,698 minus 798. Oh, 5,900. Sorry. All right. The one I did earlier was 5,500. Okay. So that would be 5,900. Okay, so that's going to be my principal, 5,900. And then I'm going to multiply this by the time. Now, what do you know about the time? So in the problem, it tells you it's going to be 48 months. But in my particular problem, time is done in years. And so if time is done in years, we need to take our 48 months and we need to turn it into years. So 48 months is 4 years. So that would be 5,900 times 4. All right, now what we're going to do is we're just going to do this math right here on my calculator. So let's do 1996.48. And we're going to divide that by 5,900 times 4. And so this is what you get. You get this big long decimal. Now it says to round your answer to 2 decimal places. So 2 decimal places here would be 8 point. So you're actually going to go out 4 decimal places. 0.0846. Is remember when you turn this into a percentage, you got to move it. So this would be 8.46%. Okay, so that's your interest rate. All right, then we're going to look at part D, which part D talks about part D is going to talk about the APR. Now I'm out of room here, so let me get another. So let's do that. So now we have a formula for APR. APR is equal to 2, this capital N, which is the number of months, that's the number of payments, and then divided by N plus 1. So we need our rate, and then we just plug everything into this. So this would be 2 times 48, because that's how many payments we're making. The rate was 8.46. So that would be 0.0846 divided by 48 plus 1. Okay, so we're going to do that over here. So we're going to say 2 times 48 times 0.0846 divided by 48 plus 1 is 49. And so then this says they want this rounded to the nearest 10th of a percent. The nearest 10th of a percent. So we're going to have 0.166. So because you have to round that 5 to a 6. So this would be 16.6%. Okay, I know that's a lot, but hopefully that will help you get through some of these problems. The very last problem on this page is also one that's kind of difficult. I do talk about that in the video that is on Blackboard. And so take a look at that video and it should help you with number 20. All right, if you have any other questions, just please let me know.